Happy Sunday, everybody, and welcome to the Fine Arts, Fine Life space here on Instagram Live. I am Makella Moore, founder and executive director of Fine Arts, Fine Life, a nonprofit organization based in Birmingham, Alabama that utilizes fine arts to positively impact the mental wellness of our youth. You are tuned in to Self-Care Sundays, I'm sorry, just had an interruption there. But you are tuned into Self-Care Sundays, where we have vulnerable conversations with dynamic people concerning topics related to fine arts and wellness. So welcome. Today, we are not necessarily interviewing, let me go back with that. We are having a conversation with a very special guest. Mayor Randall Woodfin, and he is actually logging on right now. So let me see. Oh, wait. So you have to request to join. I see that you joined here, but you have to request the live. Let's see if I can request you. Yeah. So you'll see a camera with a plus sign, Mayor Woodfin. Let's see. So I see that you've joined. Just log off and then come back and send a request to join the live. Oh, wait, I can invite you. Okay, no. I just I invited you. So guys, while we're waiting, because I sent him the request, Self-Care Sundays was established just to provide a practical platform for people to get advice for wellness and just normalize these conversations and center wellness practices. Just because, it's so important as we move throughout our days and, our spaces that, we're doing something to positively impact our wellness so that, we're happy and we're interacting with others in the best way possible. We're showing up as our full and best selves, on a daily basis. So let me see here. I am sending you another. Oh, he's not here. It's okay. I wish I had known that I could send him the invite while he was on. I didn't realize that, but it is okay. While we're waiting for him to log back on, I do want to shout out 502 director, SCP. That's my aunt. She is amazing. She's supportive. She is here every single time, and I appreciate her so much. Also, Pose Lovers. Pose Lovers has been a huge supporter since our very first Self-Care Sundays with Ryan Jamal Swain. Okay. Mayor Woodfin, I sent you the invite, so all you have to do is accept it. There you are. Oh, hi, Mayor Woodfin.
Man, I'm out here like Teddy Riley. What's up?
How are you?
It's all good. I'm cool. What about you?
I am wonderful. Happy Sunday.
Glad to you. It's a nice one outside today. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. Thank you for honoring the request. So excited to have you.
Let me know if your viewers can't hear me.
Okay, I can hear you just fine. And I did need to make the statement. For some reason, our lawn guy decided to show up today. So if you guys hear a lawnmower in the background, just please disregard it.
Oh man, has work too. Got to keep your yard. You got to keep your yard maintained. I get it. It's cool.
Absolutely. So how are you enjoying this weather?
I'm enjoying it. March is a good and bad for me. It's good in the sense that I appreciate the warmer weather without I guess the humidity. But it's bad for me in the sense that my sinus always acts a fool. So the good
Oh
news,
yeah.
20 days in, I'm over it now. It's always bad at the beginning of the month.
I'm there with you. I'm there with you. So it looks like you're in good spirits. I was going to ask you how your spirits doing
You know what?
and how are you?
Honestly, overall, everything's good. There is the things I can solve for, control for, and I really had to learn the serenity prayer of not trying to hold on to those things I can't control. There are a lot of things in the community I want to solve for, and I haven't been able to solve for, but I also have to acknowledge it's not in my control. So finding a way to balance that, still do everything I can, but at the same time, yield to what I can and cannot solve for, that keeps me at peace. So overall, my spirit's good.
Awesome. And I'm glad you said it keeps you at peace, but we're going to go back to that. I did want to take a beat to share with everyone how you and I met and how that moment speaks to your character and your love for community and your advocacy for the arts.
Right.
So every year, I take my band to a festival in Atlanta, High Note Festival. And, it just kind of gives them exposure, allows them to see other bands and what they're doing, as well as, they get to spend the day at Six Flags. And for many of my students, it's their first opportunity to travel beyond Birmingham. And so I always get so much joy, with that trip. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to do it since the pandemic, but we had a donor who committed to funding a large portion of the trip. And, the other piece of that is my students, many of them couldn't afford this trip. So I'm always on the ground trying to get people to help out with funding. And so this donor pulled out. And, I honestly think that he never had intentions on, supporting, that he was just flexing, so to speak. And so an awesome friend who is a board member with Fine Arts Fine Life reached out to you and Lord Watson to help out with funding. And without hesitation, you leveraged your contacts and your resources, and you were there for Putnam's band in a way that was just so, incredible. And so we're forever grateful. It was an honor to perform at your inauguration this year.
Listen, I'm um, I owe Putnam Middle School and especially Putnam Middle School band a lot. I played in Putnam's band, so I got a chance to walk the same hallways your students. I got a chance to sit in the same band room. I fine-tuned being a drummer in that band room. I love Putnam band, and anytime I can ever support you, support the Putnam Panthers, that's what I'm going to do because I am who I am because of Putnam Middle School band. I mean, I'm still in my head. I'm still. The reason I love rap the way I love it now is because I learned to play the drums at Putnam Middle School.
I love to hear that. I love to hear that and how, a band program, a fine arts program impacted you just in your mental state and et cetera. So I love to start off with a question. What is wellness to you?
I think wellness to me is I attempt to describe a lot of things toolbox. There are various tools within the toolbox, right? I'm unaware of one toolbox that only has one tool in it. Um, I would say wellness from that standpoint is multiple things. I would say the biggest thing is a peace of mind. I think I think spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally, those things individually and collectively, they need to be in harmony, right? I think from a mental having a peace of mind is important. I think from an emotional standpoint, have, being well there. I think physically, and then I think spiritually as well. And so if I had the time, I could chop those things down individually, right? But collectively, I think wellness is when a human being is on par with themselves in those individual lanes and collectively.
Awesome. Awesome. I guess I want to take a beat to celebrate you for being so transparent and so accessible, to the community. I think that's so important as a leader. And speaking of leadership, you've been doing an amazing job. I can recall attending a leadership conference when I was in college for Student Government Association, and Dr. Stewart from Alabama State spoke. And one thing she said that resonated with me the most as a leader, your legacy and what you leave behind is the most important thing. So you've left so many things behind, in your first term as mayor. And here you are still, leaving legacies, and not just tangible things, but, going out speaking to students. These are things they're going to take with them, for the rest of their lives. And it's a huge impact. But going back to being accessible, when I look on my timeline, I see you, like every other post, you are at an event, you are making an announcement, you are supporting a cause, like you are busy, busy, busy. And I'm saying, like, this isn't just, Monday and then I don't see or hear anything from you Tuesday. It's like every single day, maybe 5 or 6 times, I am seeing you everywhere, being all the things for all the people. At what point do you say no? At what point, how do you center, and when do you get a moment just for not Mayor Randall Woodfin, but just for Randall to relax and center your own wellness and your own needs?
So in all honesty, I didn't practice that very well the first term. I'm into the second term a little over 100 days now. I would say that in the first term, I never said no until the coronavirus hit, and I was forced to say no because there were no events. I had to be a cheerleader behind the screen. I had to be a cheerleader online. I had to be a cheerleader on social media. But I wasn't able to interact with the community as much as I wanted to. And that was for public health's sake. But it taught me a lesson. It forced me to slow down. It taught me the importance of actually why it's important to slow down. Because there was no slowing down the first term. I said yes to everything. And if I'm honest with you and in this audience, it was very unhealthy. It probably wasn't the smartest thing to do. But I took pride in being a cheerleader, an ambassador, and supporting everybody's cause because I enjoy serving in the position of mayor. I think in this term, I'm learning to say no. I cannot be at every single thing. I can't, unfortunately, say yes to every request. And I think in centering myself, I'm finding that saying no sometimes is actually healthy. I think it's important that find one day. I think 7 days of the week. I never knew how important it was to at least take one of those days and attempt to be a person, not be the mayor, not be an elected official. Whether it's catching up with family, catching up with friends, whether it's the gym, reading a book, whether it's doing nothing, sitting on the couch, attempting to watch a show and falling asleep on it, whatever it is.
I love that.
Do it with peace and don't try to worry about work. And I think with that, I found a balance and it's been healthy. It's definitely been healthy.
I love that. I love that because you somehow have this magical way of making everybody feel like a priority. And I don't think, I think most people feel like they're important to you, and that is awesome. But I'm glad you are making it known, that you are important to you as well. And you cannot pour from an empty cup. And so, yeah, that is awesome. When do you feel that you are most well? Like, what are moments that you feel you are at your best?
Well, I'll go broad and I'll go narrow. I'm at my best when I wake up, and I'm an early riser, so I go to sleep early and I wake up early. I do this without an alarm clock.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
best the crack of dawn. I probably got the best energy, probably between 5 a.m. and 12 noon. I think within that window, leaving the gym early in the morning workout, I'm at my best. I think when I've been able to solve an issue, um, whether it's been a long protracted issue or a citizen call us to City Hall and I can get it done within 24 hours or less, I feel I'm at my best because I'm actually being responsive to a citizen's concern. And then I'm at my best, honestly, when I'm just chilling with my niece. I have a 21-year-old niece who I don't have any children yet, but I have a 21-year-old niece who probably makes me the most human I can be when I'm just with her and being a uncle. So I feel very well in that peace when I'm with her.
Awesome. She is awesome, by the way. She and I connected well, I've seen her obviously several times, and your sister, but we were at industry night for Once on This Island. So she and I connected, and I'm going to reach out to her, to do some things with FAFL. We
Rockstar.
right now have a partnership with the YMCA. And, everything we do is implementing fine arts to impact or positively impact the mental wellness of kids and our youth, just to kind of help them make better, decisions and respond to conflict in a more positive way. We actually had, Ronique with Ursula Smith. He's like her lead drummer. He is our beating away anxiety instructor. And so he does West African drumming with students every third Saturday of the month.
Right.
And what I'm finding is most people who are West African percussionists are always so mellow and so like in control of their emotions. There you are, percussionist, right? And so we're just trying to, normalize this work and give kids an equitable resource to express themselves. And so I'm just so grateful for you being here today.
Yeah, absolutely.
I did want to ask you I don't know why this question came to me. If you could give, let's say President Obama is in office, if you could give him any sort of personal wellness advice, what would that be? What would that look like?
So, I honestly feel like he's the model. He has a beautiful family that he makes a focus and a priority. He plays basketball, which is his love, right? So he never stopped playing. He got a dog. I think anybody that actually has a pet, that's like wellness. There's a checklist for wellness. Get an animal, right? Checklist, boom. Check. I've read every single thing you can about Obama, whether it's articles, his books about him. I'm not sure what advice I'll give about wellness because I feel like check down.
He's the standard.
He is the standard with one thing. But if there is one thing I would say, in first term, I remember he had this whole beer with the cop from the whole when the professor got arrested in his own home, and he called it. He said it was stupid, and then he had to walk it back because some people disagreed with him weighing in on the subject. I would say from a wellness standpoint, remain convicted as he is. If he feels a certain way about something, say it and stand on it. You can't please everybody. And I think from a wellness standpoint, the opposite of wellness is attempting to please everybody.
I love that you say that. And then you're speaking from personal experience.
I had to learn hard.
Yeah, there's actually so much power in just saying no. And just prioritizing yourself. Okay. Now, speaking of prioritizing yourself, What does a wellness day look like for you? So the idea of Self-Care Sundays is to be a resource in a not so direct way for people to find practical tips for wellness. Just through conversation. If they glean anything, is awesome. Hopefully we minister to at least one person. What does a day of self-care look like for you? If you could just, pull away from your duties as mayor, what would that day look like for you? When was your last vacation? That's a great question as well.
My last vacation was after the actual election in August, and so I committed to myself before I committed to my team that if I won outright, it would be the first intentional vacation I take, and the world would know I was on vacation. I would actually turn my phone off. So for the first time in 5 years, I took a real vacation where my phone was off for 6 days. I attempted to take a vacation one time in 18, 19, and it didn't work. And then, of course, 2020, the coronavirus hit, and then 2021, the election. So there were no vacations.
Right.
My commitment now in the second term is to take some form of vacation once a quarter. So be intentional 4 times a year, take a break. I would say a wellness day for me would easily be to wake up and not look at my cell phone. That will be probably followed by going to the gym, working out, coming home, eating breakfast or brunch. Depends on how late it is. That day would also include probably leisure reading. That day would definitely include a hike, Red Mountain Park, Ruffner Mountain, or something of that nature. It would definitely include some form of either spending time with family or friends just to catch up, and having a good cold beer. Why not?
Nice. Nice. Red Mountain Park is so, like, that place is therapeutic.
Yeah, it's the
Like,
best.
I love Mountain Park. I'm like Red Mountain Park.
Listening, watching this, everybody, take yourself or take your family to Red Mountain Park. You won't regret it at all.
Okay. I'm pretty sure I have students watching today, students from Putnam, maybe Lawson State, wherever. What advice would you give young people um, in terms of prioritizing wellness, especially with them being, raised on social media? What advice would you give young people
My advice is
in
simple.
terms of wellness?
So in terms of wellness, I would say a couple things. I'd probably say 4 to 5 things, maybe. One is live, and this is one together combined. Live on purpose and live in purpose. I'll start that. I'll dig a little deeper backwards. Um, Living in purpose means you don't follow anybody else's rat race. You don't have to get a degree because everybody else is getting the degree. You don't have to get the job that everybody else is getting. You don't have to make the same amount of money everybody else is making or wear the same thing. It is okay to be an individual and stand out and be your own person. You don't have to follow. So that's probably like the first thing in wellness, right? Living in purpose. Um, Living on purpose means, from a wellness standpoint, no, this is not the Matrix, right? You're not a battery. You're not supposed to just do the same thing every day. Get up, go to work, come home, go to sleep. Like, live, have a life. Invest in your friends, invest in your family, invest in yourself. And I would say the last thing, from a wellness standpoint, take time. Take time for yourself. Time is important. We tend to think at a young age we have all the time in the world, and the older we get, we don't think we have any time in the world. Neither, right? But be on your time, not anyone else's time. That's what I would say for any young people here for a wellness tip.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And I want to be very respectful of your time. Um, Hold on. I wanted to look
I
through some of the.
see the sweater, the hoodie. The hoodie says "Black women build
Oh my gosh.
Black women build legacy.
Absolutely.
Black women build legacy too." So let me take this off so y'all can see it. Not sure if you can see it, but Black women build legacy too. So
Listen.
I'm unapologetic about it. I'm promoting this brand. It's pretty cool.
And so apropos, I love the way you champion women and you put women in spaces to have a voice and make decisions. It just speaks again so much to your character and who you are as a person. And it's so important and appreciated, and especially, women, but then especially Black women. So
Yeah, so earlier this week I spoke to Momentum. I think Momentum is celebrating 20 years of existence this year. And I'm in a room full of, I don't know, I feel like it's hundreds of women in the room, but I made a point, and I always want to make this point in any audience I get with women, which is to say with men as well. Women just don't deserve a seat at the table. They deserve a voice at the table. And those two things aren't the same. And so I think in this month, we need to, not just this month, but I think every single day we need to be about empowering women. We need to make sure they're
absolutely.
successful. We need to invest in our women. We need to protect our women. We need to love our women, but it's important.
So awesome. So awesome. Is there anything that I haven't asked that were interested in sharing?
Uh, Look at me. I'm actually thinking. No, look. I can't think. This is good. I'm outside, so I don't. You're good. But you can ask me.
Okay.
Ask me.
Okay. And I do have another question. So you mentioned your band program. What is the biggest takeaway from your band program? What would you say the biggest lesson you learned that was unrelated to a musical skill?
Oh, that's easy. Leadership and team. So I actually started playing the drums in elementary school in the 4th grade, but I honed that skill in middle school. And Putnam didn't have a marching band; they had a concert band.
Same.
Concert bands, every now and then you get an opportunity to do solo stuff. And so in those moments, as shy as I was, that was probably like one of the first times I had the opportunity to lead. I would go on to lead the in-step ministry at my church. I would go on to be a student leader at college and just have been a leader ever since. But I got my first leadership experience being exposed to and playing in the band. So that would say leadership. I would say the second is team. This whole notion of one sound, one band, one sound, is true. I think when you're part of anything, including me being as mayor, I'm still a part of a team. And so I think you have to play team. You have to be in unison with other people. Y'all have to produce the same sound. You got to produce the same results. You have to produce the same outcome. And you can only do that if you play team. So leadership and team.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Now, I'm curious to know how this didn't spill over into high school. Like, what was it? What was your primary focus in high school?
So I'm up. I did play the drums my freshman year. I was so mad because it was competition, and then you're a rookie, so they put you on the cymbals. I didn't like that, and it just got bad, and it spilled over to me. It was almost out of the movie Drumline. I got into a fight with the head drummer, got put out of the band. I mean, it was bad. It was the real thing. I don't even remember. Did I get put out or did I quit? One of those happened. But after my freshman year, I didn't play the drums anymore. However, I still got sticks. I still got a set that's collecting dust at the house. My primary focus in high school, actually, my junior, senior year, I left early. So I worked in high school. I received credit hours for working. So I left high school early every single day.
Oh, nice. My
High school experience was split between working and being in the classroom.
Nice. You know what? That actually triggers me to think of the Birmingham Promise and how amazing of an opportunity that is for Birmingham City School students.
Right.
what would you say? What could you speak to in terms of the Birmingham Promise right now, and what's happening with it?
So I speak to it. I'll speak to it several ways. The first way is to an actual student. Right now, there's a junior that's a rising senior, or there's a senior right now that's applying for college, and they may be trying to figure out if there are financial issues at home. How am I going to be able to pay for school? Well, I want the rising junior or the senior to know, whether it's Alabama, Auburn, UAB, Alabama State, Alabama A&M, Jeff State, Lawson State, Belleville State, Jacksonville State, Montevallo, University of North, South, West Alabama, and so many other state schools I'm not speaking to. If that school accepts you, the Birmingham Promise will pay your tuition full. No questions asked, right? No SAT score, no ACT score, no GPA requirement. As long as you fill out your FAFSA, and if you get $0 on the Pell Grant, we cover your tuition. If you max out on your Pell Grant, we cover the remaining of your tuition. Either way, your tuition is covered. So
That is amazing.
the first thing I want to say. The second thing I want to say is, again, if you are a junior, senior in high school, and you have an interest or a passion or a dream about a certain profession, you can participate in the Birmingham Promise and be exposed to whatever your future career interests you have. Leave high school early, receive high school credit hours for working, and be paid $15 an hour, which is way more than you and I got paid when we were in high school.
That is, listen, these kids have opportunities that we just absolutely did not have.
So look, BirminghamPromise.org for any young person that's in Birmingham City schools or Birmingham City limits. Go to it, check it out. If you're a parent on here, BirminghamPromise.org, check it out.
And I did see someone say they wish that their students could see this. I am going to save it. So someone said, can I get a follow from the mayor? I am going to save it. So it's absolutely a resource for you to revisit over and over again. Fine Arts, Fine Life, we actually will be having a silent auction coming up in May. We were initially going to have it on April 9th. We're pushing it back to the first weekend in May, potentially, for our scholarship fund. And our scholarship will be, or the qualifications for our scholarship is, you have to be a high school senior. And then you have to participate in a fine arts concentration when you go to college. Not necessarily major, and it just kind of stays on brand with, our mission, for fine arts and wellness. And so, so we'll invite you out and listen. We know that you're on your journey and to say no, and you're prioritizing you, but we hope that on this night you come through and enjoy some wine and some good entertainment and hear our percussionists and yeah.
There are no conflicts.
Well, awesome. You with Birmingham Promise, I know they don't have to make a certain SAT score or anything like that, but are students required to have a certain GPA?
All you got to do
None of that.
Do three things, actually. Live in the city limits of Birmingham, graduate from Birmingham City Schools, and complete your... You do those things, we got...
That is just...
That's literally it. I don't care what they tell you out here in the streets, they're lying. All you got to do is...
They lie?
Got to do is live in the city limits, finish Birmingham City Schools, and complete your FAFSA. We got you on the rest.
And so that is absolutely amazing, and I'm just encouraging, I sent the link to several of my former students and their parents because I have, I still have all of their contacts. I'm like, listen, this is an amazing opportunity. I think you should check it out. Like you said, college isn't for everybody, but what we do know is that, you have that opportunity if you want it. So that is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. I think that is it, Miss Mayor Woodfin. I think we've covered everything I wanted to talk about. Just wanted to know, somewhat of a wellness check-in. How are you, and how do you prioritize wellness? What advice do you have for our babies in wellness? I guess I should say, when is your next performance? Because you've become, quite the dancer. I saw you in Ursula Smith's Nutcracker, and I'm like, look at you. You were just like dancing all over the city.
Ursula's bringing a little bit out of me, so I got to stay away from Ursula if I'm not going to dance. If I stick around with Ursula, I'll be dancing all the time.
Oh, wow. And you know what I just got a thought about? I just got a thought.
You ready for me to play a set with the let me know?
Oh, look, you are reading my mind. Even if it was like with the kids at the silent auction, that would be like, I don't want to be spilling too much tea and too much, too many surprises, but
let me know.
I appreciate that, and appreciate you always, and just the way that, you have a way of making everybody feel important and everybody feel as though they matter. And that's absolutely what it's all about. So thank you so much for your time. Like, this is the first interview that I am strategically trying to keep it at 30 minutes, so that, because people are like, your interviews are so awesome, but gosh, they're long. I'm like, you know what? Let's keep this at 30 minutes so I can honor your time.
Gotcha.
And just thank you.
Thanks for what you're doing. I'm glad to be here today, and I'll be back. Let me know when you want me to come back.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. I sure will.
All right.
And so you have a wonderful Sunday fun day. And thank you again so much for your time.
You too. Take care.
All right. You too.
Bye.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please follow us. We have events coming up here in Birmingham with Fine Arts, Fine Life, and there are volunteer opportunities. So please follow us and stay updated on, all of our latest events. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You could have been anywhere on this beautiful Sunday, but you tuned in here, and I'm so appreciative. Thank you. All right, guys. Have a wonderful Sunday.